When you're tired of all the choices out there and you don't know what to do, you can kick back and watch Tall Guy Eric Reviews.
Hey guys, welcome back to Tall Guy Eric Reviews, and today I'm doing a review of a monitor that is definitely a bit controversial, rightfully so. So this is the Eve Spectrum 32 Black. It is a 4K, 240 Hz, 32-inch OLED panel that can also do 1080p, 480 Hz. Now, the reason that this is so controversial is because the manufacturer, Doe, that makes this monitor, that used to be known as Eve, I believe, they don't have the best reputation. So I'm going to tell you guys what I like about the monitor, what I don't like about the monitor, and do I think it's worth taking the risk. So let me start off by saying I have absolutely no affiliation with Doe. I've never even talked to them. I just know that this monitor was literally the perfect monitor on paper. So I kind of went back and forth deciding, did I want to take the risk of getting this monitor to review it and to use it and to see if it was something I was interested in. And I saw it was available on Amazon, and it was shipped and sold. It was shipped by Amazon. It was sold by a different manufacturer, but it was still covered under Amazon's 30-day policy. So I figured this was the best way to go about it. I ordered it. I've been using it for a little over a month now. And here are my thoughts. So first of all, it is as good as a monitor can look. There's no bezel, as you can see. It is very clean looking. There's no logos. It's just a little bit of like the black around the corners, and then that's it. So in terms of looks, it's gorgeous. On the back, it's just one HDMI, or it's two HDMI 2.1s, one DisplayPort 1.4, and a USB-C that is specifically for updates. There is supposed to be a model coming out that has DisplayPort 2.1, and obviously it'll still have HDMI 2.1, but and then it also will have like a KVM switch and a USB hub. However, that version is not out yet, so I was not able to get that version to test. Yeah, so this version has the inputs that I care about. If you're wanting DisplayPort 2.1, this is not the monitor for you. But for me personally, I don't really PC game much anymore, so it's fine. Image quality is incredible. I mean, it's on par with any other 4K OLED, whether it be QD-OLED or WOLED. This is WOLED, so this is manufactured by LG. It is their MLA Plus technology. It's very bright. It is very vibrant for a WOLED panel. The colors aren't as punchy as like a QD OLED, but it is still very good looking, and it is, like I said, very bright. I've had absolutely no issues. I use 70 on the brightness, and I've never once had to change it. HDR is very hit or miss. It can look very good, and it works well, but I personally just turn HDR off. I think a lot of PC users would probably turn HDR off. I've never used the 480 Hertz mode. I don't ever use that on any of the monitors that I've tested that support that feature. I don't necessarily care about 480 Hertz, especially to go down from 4K to 1080p. But if that's something you're interested in, I've heard it works perfectly fine. So, you know, something to take note of. The OSD, so there's three little buttons on the bottom. One is your favorite button, so you can assign that to kind of do whatever you want. One is the power button, and then the other one's a little toggle for the OSD. Honestly, the OSD is very simple. It's very clean. Let me zoom in and I'll show you guys what it looks like. So this is the OSD. Like I said, it's very simple. I have mine set to be transparent, but I mean, it has literally every functionality you could ever want on a monitor, and I'm not exaggerating. Like, it has an insane amount of OLED protection. It has sharpness. It has it's funny because like it has just about everything you could possibly want, except for one normal feature that rarely monitors don't have. You can't adjust the saturation yourself. You can choose from different like preset features that kind of change the saturation, but you can't actually adjust the saturation on your own. So for me, that's kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. I think that the settings that I have dialed in look really good. It's not super oversaturated, but it's also not like dull looking. Yeah, I will say this before I get into the controversy. I've been using this monitor for a little over a month, and I personally think, as a monitor without the stigma attached to it, it is the best monitor that I've ever used. I absolutely love it. I currently have the Asus 27-inch 4K sitting on my other desk, and I've not once switched back to it since I got this monitor. I still have to do a review on that monitor, which I will, but in terms of just wanting to go back to it, I haven't wanted to because this monitor is so good. However, that's where we come into the issues. So if you wanted to get this monitor, like, so this particular one, and I meant to mention this earlier, so this particular version of the monitor is the Gorilla Glass version, and that's what a lot of people are going to be interested in. So basically what it is it's a standard, it's supposed to be a glossy OLED monitor, and I'll get more into that in a second, with a layer of Gorilla Glass 3 essentially glued on top of it. So what that does is it helps with, because it's a special like anti-glare version, but it's not actually anti-glare. So essentially what it does is it helps with glare reduction, and it also makes it extremely scratch resistant. Now, I can tell you from my experience so far of cleaning it, it is about 1,000,000 times better than any QD-OLED monitor, because QD-OLED monitors scratch when you look at them. But this is, it's honestly, it's better than anything that I've used aside from just the standard anti-glare monitors, because to me those are like impossible to scratch because that anti-glare coating is so good. But it's even better than the glass on like OLED TVs, because even those, like if you're not careful enough, they will scratch. Whereas with this, I've heavily went over it with like a microfiber cloth and still no scratches at all. The anti-reflective coating is really good. It does a great job of looking glossy but still handling reflections well. However, when I bought this monitor, it's marketed as being completely glossy and like everyone's dream. I mean, even Doe's product page essentially says like this is what everyone wants. It is a glossy monitor as opposed to a TV, but you know, still has like that Gorilla Glass, and it's not fully glossy. I don't know what they did. I've read some people have said that they essentially just took an anti-glare monitor and glued that Gorilla Glass to the front of it. I don't know if that's true or not. If it is, then I mean, it would kind of make sense, but also I feel like that would create more haziness than there is, and also it would make the image less sharp. So I don't know if that's true, but basically on a pure white page, you will see some haziness. Oh man, I'm not focusing, so I'm dying. On a pure white page, you will notice some haziness. Have I noticed it playing games? No. But if you look at pure whites, you will definitely notice that it is not full gloss. It's not as glossy as like a QD OLED, and it's not as glossy as, say, something like the LG C5. However, it is an incredible upgrade over standard anti-glare. But I was disappointed when I got the monitor and saw that there was some haziness. Do I think that it ruined my experience? No. But it is a little deceptive. And then also, on terms of deceptive, we're going to get into kind of what makes Spectrum. I'm just going to leave it, once I kill this next enemy, I'm just going to leave it chilling right here. But what makes Doe such a controversy. So essentially, I don't know the entire story, but I have kept up with it somewhat. Doe started off as Eve, and they essentially lied to like millions of customers. They sold them products that they didn't actually have, and they never fulfilled it. Some people are still sitting on the original Eve product, which I believe was a laptop. And they still haven't gotten their money back. It was the same situation with their monitors. They came out with the 27-inch ones, and it was the same situation. They were selling monitors, but people weren't getting them, and they were essentially telling people like, oh yeah, you'll get them, but they wouldn't give them refunds. Some people still haven't gotten their monitors. So from what I've come to gather and kind of a little bit in person found, Doe as a company, they're not reliable. They seem to be scammers, and I would not recommend buying from them. Because you literally can't get a hold of them. I had a question when I first got this monitor, and it was related to the saturation. I just wanted to know, was there a way that I could personally adjust saturation? I emailed them, I reached out to them on Twitter, nothing, never heard back from them. They, most of the times, don't reply to comments. It's like the company doesn't exist. So that is a big caveat with this monitor, is if you decide you want to buy one, you essentially have to go in it hoping that your monitor is perfect until you decide to upgrade, because you don't have any customer service from what I've seen. You don't have any warranty backup. They just don't reply. Now, I personally, so far, have had no issues with this monitor. And because I bought it through Amazon, if I have any issues, I will reach out to Amazon and hopefully they will help me out. Obviously, that's not guaranteed since it would be outside of that return policy, but I know that most of the time Amazon will help people out. But that does make me very hesitant to recommend this monitor, because if you buy it, you kind of have to just hope that it has no issues whatsoever. But the problem is like, as of now, there's not another monitor on the market like this. 95% of the time, I feel like I'm playing on a 32-inch LG C5. That's exactly how it feels. And that's always the experience that I've wanted, is the OLED TV on a monitor feel. And I have that with this monitor, but it comes at those costs and those caveats. So, the monitor as a whole, if it had been manufactured by anyone else, I don't think I could recommend it anymore. It's beautiful. It works well. It's extremely fast in terms of response time. I've played COD, I've played Apex, I've played Battlefield, I've played so many shooters, and they all just feel amazing on this monitor. Color looks great. It's extremely sharp. It's just like, it is damn near the perfect monitor made by the wrong company. So for me personally, would I buy this monitor again? Absolutely. I hate that I would have to take a risk of spending I think this monitor was $1,100, and knowing that if anything went wrong, I might be screwed, which is why I don't think I could recommend this monitor to other people. But because it gives me the experience that I've always wanted, it's very hard to not say that it's a phenomenal monitor. If it had been made by LG or Samsung or any other reliable monitor company, it would be an absolute go. Like, it would just be, it wouldn't even take me a second to recommend it. So if this is the monitor, if everything I've told you is kind of what you've been looking for, like I said, I've had a great experience with it, but you have to go in knowing those caveats and those issues, and that it's kind of in your own hands. Maybe you'll get lucky if you buy it and Doe will respond to you, or you'll have a good customer service experience. If you want to buy this monitor, though, I absolutely recommend you buy it from Amazon or Best Buy. To be honest with you, I wish I would have bought it through Best Buy. I think that is the best way to go about it, because you can buy it and you can get the warranty, and then you are set. If anything happens to it, Best Buy will take care of it. It's in that situation, it's not in your hands, it's not in Doe's hands. Best Buy will take care of it. That's the way to go. I wish that's how I would have done it, but because I got it through Amazon, I'm at the mercy of Amazon if anything ever happens to it. Another thing, you could wait till apparently later this year. I believe Asus has a 32-inch glossy OLED panel coming out. I'm not 100% sure if it's WOLED or if it's QD OLED. I believe it's supposed to be WOLED. Asus is definitely a more refutable company than Doe would be, so you could wait for that. But I wanted to get my hands on this monitor to see why the people who took the risk, knowing that that company was very scammy, why they would still take the risk. So that's why I wanted to get the monitor, and I have my answer. Like, I fully understand why some people would take a risk, because this monitor is so damn good and it's so clean looking. It even works perfect on Mac. I've had zero issues with Mac. I've had no issues with my Windows computer. No issues with any of my consoles. And I mean, I've played everything back to the PlayStation 2 using an HDMI adapter on it. No issues whatsoever. It has gotten quite a few software updates since I've gotten a monitor, and they've only continued to make it better and faster. Now, will it continue to get software updates? I don't know. The last one was last month. There are still a few minor issues that I would like them to update, like how fast the monitor turns on. They've updated that, and it did make it better, but I'd like to see it a little faster. And I would also like to see more adjustments, like with saturation and stuff. But they've had a decent track record with putting out updates. I don't know how long that's going to continue. So at the end of the day, would I recommend this monitor? As the monitor itself, absolutely, it's killer. But if you are going to do this monitor, I cannot recommend order it through Amazon or order it through Best Buy. I would not recommend ordering it directly from the company, because there is a risk that you may never get your monitor. And then also, if you are patient, you can wait until Asus releases their 32-inch glossy panel, and maybe that monitor will actually be full gloss. I will be trying that when it comes out, because if it's full gloss, that might be the perfect monitor for me. But until then, this is my go-to monitor. This is the monitor that has been on my desk for over a month, and it is the monitor that will stay on my desk. I love it. Just like I said, you got to be careful with it, and I absolutely would not recommend buying from Doe. I haven't even had the experience that other people have had, and I don't recommend it. So take that as you will. But, I just wanted to get my word out here and kind of give you guys what my thoughts are on this monitor and why some people would buy it knowing the repercussions. So that's going to be it for today. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. In the coming weeks, I will have my review of that Asus 27-inch 4K coming out as well. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you so much.